Welcome. This is another episode of Moron et al. And here we have Shama, Steve. We are mystical morons. Presented by the Grounding Box in association with Creative Postures. Supported by
Shama's Light Crystals.
a wandering human production. If that doesn't get you, I don't know what is. This is the first episode, so whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. Pro tip, you got to start somewhere. And we're starting here with Shama. I will allow Shama to introduce. I will not allow her. Men do not do that. But Shama,
You can invite me.
I am invite. See, part of where we're going here is I am going to learn to not be a barbarian. Shama, please enlighten us on who you are.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm excited to be here, to be the mystic part of the Mystic Morons. I am Shama Dhanani, a hypnotherapist, energy healer, shamanic healer, and a crystal dealer, the gemstone type, just in case. Don't get it twisted, y'all. So I am here to, I guess this is like, there's always a cycle. What we give, we receive. So I'm here as part of that cycle, contributing and receiving.
So I think what all the morons out there are asking themselves right now is, do you have a crystal ball? And what does it say? Because that's what we know.
My crystal ball is currently packed away somewhere. I do have one. It is actually a smoky quartz crystal ball. Right now, I used to have a clear quartz one. I have passed that along to somebody I love dearly.
We got cloudy?
It was originally a clear cloudy, so it was like partially clear, partially Girasol, so it's a little milky. But yeah, I do, but I don't use that to see. I have different ways of seeing, sensing, knowing, feeling, and receiving.
So the history of the crystal ball, were they seeing, or do they? Is that a current practice?
It's a tool of divination, and there are many tools of divination. In some cultures, they use the crystal balls. In some cultures, they read tea leaves, chocolate.
I've heard of reading the tea leaves before.
Right, that's right. So these are divination tools. The runes, so I believe if I'm correct, that might be in not Eastern Europe, Western Europe, the runes like Ireland, Celtic backgrounds. Forgive me if I don't know exactly, so I don't want to butcher that any further, but every culture has different divination tools, and the crystal ball is one of them. But you could also just be a seer through meditation. These are tools that they use to meditate with. You could use a tool to meditate with. You could also just meditate with yourself.
Okay. So in the meditation, you can see who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way. Although I'm pretty sure there are some really talented seers that can see stuff like that.
We have a lot of people wondering, is it going to be the Chiefs or the Bills going to pull it out this year?
I don't know, man.
What is the intuition telling you?
I don't know if
Chiefs
the
or
oracle's got the answer on that.
If at some point I can convert betting into the mystical...
Do we have a mystic out there that knows that? Is there a mystic out there that can define this clarity and contribute?
If you're listening to this show and you know who's going to win the Super Bowl because you're mystical, please tell us. We would love to put you on, and I would love to take that bet. Maybe the other side.
Just check yourself. Make sure you're not coming from ego.
As long as the money clears, anybody who's out there betting is all right with it.
As long as the money clears.
By the way, this is not an advertisement for betting. It will destroy your life.
Yeah, don't do it. It was just a joke.
Go to the OTB, look around, and let me know if that's the type of place you want to be. Because you might be on your phone, but you're picking up sticky tickets from the floor at some point, Let's talk about some current events. I think there's perspectives on a lot of things that can be shared, and I like to get and gather different perspectives on current events as Mornetol travels. So I think you had some. We were talking before the show, before show note, before we took film. Uh, about some of what's going on out west. You wanted to touch on that, and
No, I was just saying if we were able to like send prayers and visualize water coming down over the entire city, really. I mean, if we can all just take that moment to see that. So what I've been doing as an interesting practice every day this past week, when I shower, I'm seeing the fires being rained down on.
okay.
So I've been doing it as like a waking meditation.
Would this be? Remember, some of the people you're talking to, like me, have never done this before. So
Okay.
would you call this a visualization?
Absolutely, it's a visualization. The power of your mind, power of visualization has a very high efficacy rate. So you can make anything happen. In fact, pharmaceuticals test this with their drugs. 60% efficacy with placebo drugs, which means the drug that's just the sugar pill. Time after time, it has at least a 60% efficacy, which means the belief in your mind and the visualization of it allows you to make that much progress without actually having had the thing. Here's the other part. The people who actually had the drug also had just about the same success rate.
So you're taking medicine with your mind.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Mindicine. some would
Mind
say.
is sin. How has nobody coined that
Hold on a
yet?
second.
Mind is sin.
If you are listening to this, I own Mindicine. That's it. It's mine. Mine. But so why don't you take us through some quick Mindicine here in that visualization?
Okay, so and the foundation of this can be used in any way for anyone. First of all, just do this when you are able to be like seated, not when you're driving, not when you're operating heavy machinery. Like
Hey,
those are dangerous
put down that
times.
heavy machinery.
I know.
If you're gonna do
I know.
this.
Put down the forklift. Put
Hey,
down,
all you
pull.
forklift drivers that are tuning in right now, put it in reverse. Stop it right now. My longshoremen out there, hey. Only short shoremen allowed right now.
Don't be
Longshore-
driving when you're doing this. Don't be driving. Although I have to say, when you drive on the road enough and you forget how you got from point A to B, it's coined highway hypnosis because your brain actually went into the same state as when you're in a meditative state. But even knowing that when you're focusing on the road, that's where your focus is, so it's safe. Don't do this because this will take your focus off the road and you need to focus on the road if you're on it.
Pretend it's raining and put your wipers on, regardless.
Don't listen to the moron, listen to the mystic. Thank you.
We can. All right, so you're not you're not operating cruise ship materials. You're not docking. Hey, we're not talking about docking. Get your fucking mind out of the gutter.
I don't even know what that means.
He doesn't even know that. I guarantee the morons
even
know what that means, and we're just gonna leave it at that. I think the camera guy knows what that means too. So okay, we're taking it seriously, folks. All right, we joke, but we are serious. So, in that mode, what's going on is not a joke.
No. And, there's a lot, obviously, there's a lot of things people can do, like donate to different resources and reputable sources. But what we can do as a community from a spiritual way is, in addition to the prayers are great. I love that we all pray, but visualize it with the prayer. You have to add some power to it. Words may not be the only vibration that can help here. And when you visualize, when you draw, when you create, those are all powerful expressions of the same prayer. And they have a little bit more to them. So join me now. Go ahead and you could do it with your eyes closed, ideally, but some people like to focus on like a twinkling light or something, if that's your jam.
I will close mine.
Go ahead and close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And allow yourself to see the beautiful mountainsides and the greenery, and you notice that it's dusty and there's some fires, and allow yourself to see up into the clouds and notice that the clouds begin to get a little bit of gloom to them. They begin to start descending closer to the earth. And then gently rainfall comes down, and seeing the entire mountainside begin to get drenched and saturated. Everything getting a little bit more drenched and saturated. And allowing the waters to even drench the towns and areas around, because we know those winds have been there consistently at this time. They exist there, it's their home. And allowing the rains to be invited in now, inviting them in quicker, inviting them in to pour down upon those fires, seeing those fire lines pushed back by that water, until every last bit is gone and the smoke is beginning to clear. And seeing those winds take away everything, allowing that air to clear so our brothers and sisters can breathe again. And as you allow that clearing to happen, take a nice deep breath, see, feel, imagine, experience that area clear up. And we know that there will need to be rebuilt, but allow them to at least have fresh air to breathe. And then allow that same prayer and visualization to expand anywhere else you would like to on this planet, anywhere else that you'd like to bring some peace and healing. If it's an element like water or sunshine or a breeze or something else, if it's peace. Taking a moment to see that before you bring yourself back with the next breath in. Gently opening your eyes.
Word.
You feel a little bit more connected too with the world. At least I do. I mean, maybe you do too.
Connecting with current events. It was really nice, Shama. Thank you for running us through that meditation, I guess that would be. Was that like a mini meditation?
I'm going to say it was a little bit of a prayer.
Prayer meditation.
I mean, yeah, it's a meditation, but that one really felt like a prayer.
Prayer-itation?
Sure.
I own that as well. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, this guy. What's up with you trying to own everything, yo?
I'm just trying to own prayer-itation.
First of all, I came up with it because I just did it.
That's hers.
Okay, so.
I'm Mindison, she's prayer-itation. You know? Isn't this the point? Like, everyone's just trying to own everything?
That's why I'm like.
It's like a copyright land grab.
Oh my God, no.
Shit. We are just kicking it, showing perspective. And, you know, the next little thing we wanted to talk about, the mystical and the moron, is some astrology. A lot of people scoff, a lot of people in my world in finance scoff at astrology, think it's hocus pocus. I think it's maybe in between hocus and pocus, like somewhere... You know, not hocus pocus, but in between there. And I think what you said earlier, and believing in it does have an effect on its affect.
Yeah.
I do think that's true. And maybe 60% of it. But maybe the other 40% is something to, you know, sort of learn about. And so Shama, is the pizza pie in my eye? Where are we right now? I know there was a moon. I know there was a full moon. You know,
it's actually today, full moon in Cancer. Today, Monday, January 13th, full moon in Cancer.
For the morons
that don't know what the hell I just said,
can you explain that Cancer in astrology isn't like the C word in real life? It's
not the C word in real life. It is the sign of Cancerian, which is the crab. And it is, so in astrology, there's 12 signs for anybody who doesn't know anything about this.
12.
Rewind a little bit. And each of them represent a different astrological sign. And there's different times. So like mid-January to mid-February is Aquarius. Mid-February to mid-March is Pisces, so on and so forth. Right now we are in Capricorn season from mid-December to mid-January, and that's where the sun is. But the moon is also moving around out there, and the moon is in Cancer. Cancer is a sign of, it's known as the mother sign, the nurturing sign, so you might feel a need to go inwards, introverted. Think of the crab, because that's the archetype, and it's retreating into its crab shell. So if you feel a little bit like, I don't want to be out right now, it might make sense because it's a Cancer moon, and that could be the influence. And for people who tell me that I don't know what I believe in that, then, you know, well, the tides are affected by it, and if we're 70% water, how are we not going to be affected by it? So there's just some science.
So it's basically crab salad right now, and you're either putting in a little mayo or a little
No, the
vinegar.
crab's hiding out. It didn't turn into the salad yet.
If you're hiding out, you're crab salad. Then you're supposed to go through it anyway, experience it, let that moon turn you into a werewolf or anything else that it's gonna do. For all you Michael
Make
J.
you moody.
I,
Moody morons out there.
for all the moody morons out there,
I own that, Steve, just in case you were wondering.
owns that. For all the moody morons out there that maybe today or by the time you're listening to this, we don't know when that is. But if you were a dick on the full moon, this is why. 60% of it is you're a dick. 40% of it is the moon is in Cancer. That's basically the math.
Oh my God, that's
For
not
my
the
math
math.
guys, does that
That's
help?
not the math. That's not the math.
That's how I take
Why you
it.
asked me that, huh? Why am I the math checker?
So basically, astrology is like a baseball team that has 12 players. Somebody's batting cleanup, somebody's batting, starting off, and somebody's coming in batting ninth, right? And
I like that. That's a really good analogy to that. That's not bad, moron. Ooh.
That's not bad for So right now, who's up at bat? We're going into Pisces, right?
No. So we are still in Capricorn season. The moon is in Cancer, so that's deeply emotional, nurturing, homebound, wanting to cook at home kind of things, coziness, which makes sense for the people in the northern hemisphere where it's still cold and winter. And then this week, the Mercury is going into Capricorn. So Mercury is the planet of communication and technology, and Capricorn is the planet of structures and foundations and leadership and karma. So communication and karma, and Venus is in Pisces. Venus is a planet of love, compassion, and Pisces is the subconscious. It is the 12th sign, which means it has elements of every single one before it. It is the most wisdom one there is. So there's going to be a lot of love moving around in that wisdom.
So if your Pisces is in a blender, throw in some tequila, mix it up, and you got a really
It could get to be a
cosmic-
saucy night.
it's a
Yeah.
cosmic margarita coming
Yeah.
up is what that means, right?
Yeah.
So right now we're in
Definitely luscious vibes.
So Mercury is in marmalade, you said? And Pisces is in margarita.
Mercury
So-
is in Capricorn and Venus is in Pisces.
We're close. But you guys
So, no, not even
you
close.
guys understand how this works. It's like one's your emotions, one's your it's the batting lineup of your internal system. And they are related somehow to mathematically, I will say.
And also archetypes.
You know what? I didn't want to get into this on episode 1, but I got a big problem with the months lately.
Oh, they're not right. Somebody changed them
Totally not
250
right.
years ago.
October being 10 makes no sense.
Because spring equinox is supposed to be the first month. October, yeah, exactly. It's 8.
November-
Octo is 8. The
It's
prefix.
8 everywhere else except the month. Like, it makes no
No,
sense.
that's
Fuck these
exactly
months.
right, because there was a king somewhere back in the days, 250 years ago, before America was made, that said it now begins now, and we changed it. Just like the other idiot king that said, I want women to give birth laying on their backs instead of with gravity.
I don't know about that.
That rant's going to come back another episode. Let's move on.
I don't know about that, but the revolution should be in the calendar. This calendar makes no sense. December is not a 12. It's a fucking 10. Come on, guys. She's a 10. A 10, you know what I'm saying? A 10. Not a December. Anyway, that's been on me for a while. I'm like, we're just using a fake calendar, and everybody's agreeing to it.
March, the spring equinox, is supposed to be the beginning of the year.
Makes more sense, right?
Spring
Rather
equinox,
than when you-
everything comes back to life. Logical.
Is it equinox or is it equinox?
Potatoes, potatoes.
Is the gym Equinox or is
Pecan,
it? I've been calling
pecan.
that expensive ass gym Equinox for many years. I hope it's Equinox.
I like equinox.
You like Equinox?
Yeah, but I mean, not for the gym. I don't care what the gym is.
So, whatever. We're going. So, right now, eventually, this is going to be a show where you can call in. What we will say on the first episode here is, let's point down, leave a comment or a question, because it's like Q&A time, and since you're still getting to know us, we're gonna Q&A each other, and I will Q&A future guests as well, and then eventually that can be interactive if you care. If you don't, like
Why
it
are you
anyway.
still here?
I know this is pretty deep to not like something and still be there. If they're here by 15,
And if you're still here, thanks.
hey,
We're here with you.
I see you, shaking that ass, shaking
Why
that
would they
ass.
be shaking their ass right now?
Because every time I say I see you, I think in my head, shaking that ass, shaking that ass. So, Shama, would you, I don't want to assume that I'm supposed to let you go first because we're not doing that here. Everyone is equal. Would you like to go first and ask me a question, or shall I ask you the question?
I'd like to go first. Thank
Lady-
you for asking, Steve.
Ladies first because she wants to, not because we're being polite.
What a gentleman. Remind me to thank his wife again.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. I would really love to know what is your intention for these folks to take away from just the overall project, not even just today.
Which project are we talking
Mystics and Morons.
Mystics
Because
and-
he's got a lot of moronic projects happening. I'm just saying. Okay.
There's a
You
few-
might find them below. Go ahead.
Few projects, few links. Check my link tree. I can say that now. Check my link tree. I think that your perspective and the mystical perspective is one that, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more interested in. I take a creative pause. I think there's more than meets the eye, and too many people are quick to just be like, yeah, nah, with that. And that's just being short-sighted. And I've seen a lot of this stuff in action. I've spoken to people who somehow know more things than they should know, and people that mathematically can give you a roadmap based on like the day and time you were born. It's pretty wild. I found it to be more accurate than not, but not fully accurate either. Like I'm not like under some type of spell here, but I think I think it's interesting, and honestly, I think I am interested in it, and I think it's also funny when you like start to put all these things together. So if I can be the humor side of it, and we can continue to explore the mystical realms and other things, and I think there could be something here, and I don't mind doing it because Shama's my friend, and we're here, and
We'd be having this conversation anyway.
sorta, yeah, and I've learned from many people, and I think the world should get a chance to learn from you.
Okay. Thank you. Wasn't expecting that.
I always say, broken clock is right twice a day. That was one of I'm like Will Ferrell in Old School, where he comes out and he just says something really nice and smart. It's like, who is that guy?
I know. I just had that moment.
That's me. I'll do that every once in a while, folks. Stay tuned. More on that later.
More on that later. I see what you did there.
So I get it. Is my turn now?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Shama, a lot of people don't feel heard these days. And I would ask you, in your unique experience, how you think someone who doesn't feel heard may get to feel heard.
Okay. So the world we live in is very difficultly disconnected. And we've become conditioned to be more disconnected these days because of the COVID years. So the one thing I found that has been very helpful, at least for a lot of my hypnotherapy clients and anybody else I've spoken to that has done some work, gotten some support somewhere, you need one witness, just one witness to thoroughly hear you out for something to dissipate and for you to be seen, heard. The thing that gets in our way and gets us all stuck is we're attached to who we expect to be that one person to witness us. And maybe it's our partner, maybe it's our parent, maybe it's our sibling, but that person can't be the one to see us. You have to be willing to be okay with that one person being whoever that one person happens to be, but not attaching to who that one person is. Does that make sense? Right? So if you have a therapist and that's the person that hears you out, great. If you have a partner or a friend that you vent with once a week or something, that's great. You need one person to witness whatever you're going through for it to no longer have that impact, for it to dissipate. So the person who needs to be witnessed, your job is to do the work of feeling safer, being vulnerable, sharing what you need to share so you can be witnessed. That's what I would offer.
And I would say, can I get a witness? Can we get some hands up in there? We gotta. Can I get a witness? That was good.
I'm
Can
just
I
saying,
get a witness?
it's, after 10 years of doing this and after being a survivor, right? Most of us are survivors of something, but being a survivor of many things, you just learn there's certain things that just break right through. And it's that one witness makes a world of a difference. Do the work of feeling safe expressing to one person.
So if you're in the Witness Protection Agency,
And that's not what I mean. Oh my God.
this
Jesus.
is the opportunity to get out. Step outside. I'm saying what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you're hiding in the Witness Protection Agency, come out to the world. Start to be seen.
No.
Oh, we weren't saying that?
No. Those people need to keep doing what they're supposed to be doing. This is not for them.
Not for
They
them.
need to stay safe.
Stay safe.
Don't let this moron get you killed, okay?
But be heard. Stay safe, but be heard. It's like, this is
Keep
where...
it private in the circle.
This is where I feel like I'm here to push.
So in that case, a
I
therapist is
understand.
great because a therapist has to have confidentiality. You can be heard by the therapist.
If you need to, confidentially. Sincerely. We're sitting on this couch right now, and most likely you have sat for more hours than you should, like us all. I mean, and listen, if you're working in the cornfields, I got it. You could sit down. But like the rest of us, even if you're on your stand-up desk or you're sitting on a bowl doing this, or you're in a rocking chair, or even if you're taking your walks, which I'm always about taking your walks. Most likely, most of us are sitting too often. So I like to ask people that I sit with what movements you like to do, what really like loosens you up, because I think sharing our ability to move is a basic communication. It's like pretty like everyone's got a neck, and I've had 2 neck surgeries here, and so I have to do a lot of moving to kind of keep that right. So I like to not say again, but I might do it. It's the first episode. Now it's a joke.
Now you're just doing it on purpose.
Yes. But movement is so important, and I feel like all cultures have it, right? You could go into like the Native Americans, the Indians, the Asians, the us whites, even us whites, the wandering Jews of Israel. We're wandering and moving. Movement is part of humanity, and it's a basic communication. So, I'd love it if Shama, if you have any type of movement that you could specifically recommend, maybe to people that are sitting too often.
For sure. One of the things that as we mature is more brought to our attention is that, there's different systems in our body, and we can't always do all the same things. If you're seated at a desk, it might be hard to get up and do things. If you can stretch, great, get up and do it. But one of the things I love to do is drop my shoulders up, like lift them up to my ears and then drop them. But let it be a forceful drop. And what you're really allowing to happen there is your underarms, the lymph nodes in your underarms, By lifting and dropping it, you are allowing that stretch to happen.
Are you supposed to breathe while you do this, or
Yes.
in up, exhale
I've
down?
never timed it
But like,
exactly, but
am I doing like
inhale up, exhale down. And then you want to also roll it forward and back. Because what you're doing here is you're moving anything that's in those lymph nodes under your armpits. And those are some of the main ones. The other main lymph nodes are right along your crotch and right behind your knees. So you could also work on those behind your knees ones as you're seated if you want to just rub them.
Ones?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that here and now.
Shit, I didn't
But you
say.
can rub along the sides, like just go massage along the sides. Just like that. So it's your own body. You're just moving the energy there. So with
Move
the
those
shoulders,
nodes.
exactly. With the shoulders, when you do that, you could also lift the arm. So the left
Should we
arm,
do like
move
a
it to
Wonder
the.
Twins?
Oh,
You know there's gonna be an effect on that one.
I so didn't mean to do that though.
It's like a stretch.
So ridiculous. So yeah, I like to do that when I'm at work. Roll the shoulders back, roll the shoulders forward, especially lift and drop them. So do it maybe, when I'm at work, I can't really think about how many reps I'm doing, but if you wanted to think about reps, you could do 5 of them at a time and do 3 reps. You want to make sure you exhale out more than you inhale so you can really get rid of toxins. And then whenever you're using movement, you want to make sure you also hydrate. So you're moving those toxins that you moved out.
This is hard to do at the same time.
No, don't hydrate at the same exact time, moron. Put the cup down.
Oh man, that was impossible. I tried for you guys.
If you're listening and not watching this right now, this moron just picked up the cup of tea as he's doing the shoulder lifts and drops.
We got sound effects too. You see what we did there?
I'm gonna have to start using plastic on this show.
So
Wait, no, I'm just kidding. We're not making this
we
toxic.
are anti-plastic.
We are
We are
anti-plastic.
anti-red 40. We are anti-green 75. We are anti-blue 42. No,
You
we're
know all the
always-
numbers?
We're very pro blue 42.
Wait, what's that?
Exactly. This is why Mystic and Amor. So like, that's like, a football phrase. You'd go up and you'd audible and like blue 42, Omaha, Omaha.
Okay.
So if mystics out there, if you hear someone say blue 42, they're not talking about the dye, okay? They're not talking, I think it's, red. One of them is red something.
I just don't use any of those ingredients. Anything that has those, I avoid it.
And Omaha is not Nebraska. It's audible.
So glad he said that out loud.
Omaha, what?
I had no freaking idea.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
We teach each other. Everywhere
Learning.
we go, we learn about stuff. And one of the things that I've learned in my journey, and I mention it in my book, How to Succeed on Wall Street and Why You Should Absolutely Not Do It, a moron's memoir. One of the things I mentioned is...
It's corny over the top.
We're going right through.
Right through, I love it.
We're going through the cornfields in Nebraska with that
Oh,
stuff.
Lord. Oh, my God.
But I'm trying to ground this right now. Grounding. I speak about meditation. I offer real life situational meditations presented by Creative Postures, which are very different from the meditations that you do, Shama. And I have had the pleasure of meditating with you. I would love it if you can give a little bit of background into your comfort with meditation, how you kind of got into it, and then we can roll into our newest segment, Sitting with Shama,
Oh.
or Tapping In with Shama.
All right. Okay.
One of the two.
All right. Well, I would say it's in my blood and in my cells, but also I was reconnected with it back in 2014, shortly after I went through a life change up, divorce, all this fun stuff. And I went to India and got certified and trained right at the motherland, and learned a lot of meditation techniques, a lot around our chakras, and a lot around our entire body systems that work with us healing. And then I came back here and I did hypnotherapy, and I studied neuroscience as a hobby for the past 14 years. So I use all of that to help us meld both how to relax our nervous system, but also how to help us to then use those tools in day-to-day life. If you have anxiety at work, or if you're having anxiety with a dynamic or a family member, you could use a lot of these tools, because what's really happening when those moments hit, you're being triggered, and any of the tools you use to help relax you can work in those moments of trigger. Well, depends on how big the trigger is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the Ayurvedic? How do we say this?
He's
word?
trying to say Ayurvedic, and Ayurveda.
You've read that word and you've probably never said it out loud either.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
Ayurveda.
Ayurvedic.
Ayver. Wait, no.
Ayurvedic.
Okay, see now, my ADHD just went blank.
My Ayurvedic is going crazy. Right
So that is a
trope.
system of nutrition and medicine and healing. So it's a little different. It is all inclusive. Yoga can be a part of Ayurveda, like they're connected together.
But I know they do the hot and the cold, and they do some of that.
Right, that's because it's an entire medicinal system. So they have Ayurvedic doctors in India. It's a little different than what's here, because their homeopathic medicine is the original. It was the original here too. It's the original everywhere, right? I don't know why it's...
OG medicine.
It is the OG. It's the OG. It's not alternative. It's the original.
Is meditation tucked into that too?
Meditation is tucked into that, because when you meditate, you relax your nervous system. For example,
That's
if you
doshi?
start...
That's the doshi?
Doshas is totally...
I was close.
He's trying to dive into everything in like 5 minutes.
She didn't even know I knew that word.
He doesn't know that word. It's not doshi, it's doshas.
Do you know Doechi, the female rapper? She is dope. She.
I have no idea who she is.
Yeah, we're about the
Now you're
song
just
of the
trying to
day.
tongue twist.
Doechi,
Now he's just trying to tongue twist.
Chevrolet Impala. I think that's the name of the song.
You're going to have to
Check
play
that
it
out.
now, right?
Not right now. I ain't trying to pay Doechi, but she is dope.
So that's multiple different layers of this Ayurvedic system you're talking about now. So we're not going to dive into all that tonight.
We're gonna just talk about meditation.
Yes, we're going to stick with meditation.
We're gonna,
So when you do this, and if you do it regularly, even if you do it for 7 to 15 minutes a day, you're training your brain on how to relax. Using that practice, if things happen throughout your day, that training your brain in the day has already preconditioned your brain to relax whenever you activate it later in the day. So if you work a high-stress job, or if you're around people that piss you off, or if you can't handle morons, or if you are a moron, you can't handle the genius assholes. Ooh, sorry, bleep that out. Some days I'm one, some days I'm the other. I'm just saying.
some days you're both.
Some days you're both. So,
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
sometimes you don't. Anyway, we can't do that, can we?
I think we have to pay the Mars company or somebody like that.
Right? So we'll just stop it right
You
there.
used my tones in here.
Yeah.
How dare you on your podcast?
But basically, we
get
can...
off my lawn.
Oh my jeez, lawn. How did lawn get involved?
Get
in
off
it?
my lawn, you whippersnappers. If you just feel like everybody is just so territorial with this kind of stuff these days, and it's just like, guy.
You mean like on a moronic island where people think they own the parking spots on the street outside their house, on the public streets?
You telling us here?
Yeah,
It happens here. It happens in Philly. It happens in a lot of places.
happens a lot of places.
Yeah.
People
So,
think they own their streets. Mm-mm.
you know what? We're gonna have a difference of opinion here. So we're gonna drive on. See, it's okay to have differences of opinion, and it's okay to be right. But can you? You know, we did a mini med earlier, and we're gonna take this time to do a little 5-minute meditation, maybe.
Sure. All right.
Cool.
So allow yourself to, for those of you who are able to relax, be somewhere where you can relax and close your eyes safely, do that now. Allow yourself to uncross your legs and arms. Unless you're sitting Indian style, which is fine, but allow that energy to flow all the way straight down your legs. So flat on the floor would be best. And go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. We're going to go ahead and anchor in and allow you to harness the strength of this powerful full moon we've had. Even if you're listening to this later on, after the full moon has come and passed, you can still activate and anchor in the same powerful lunar medicine and allow it to support you in whatever ways you could use these tools. So go ahead and close your eyes. And you're going to envision the bright light of that moon cascading down over you, maybe like a waterfall or simply just like bright light, cascading over you. And as it's doing so, the energy of Cancer is that nourishing mother energy, or that nourishing care and loving one. Letting that care and love shower over you with that moonlight. Letting that care flood in through the top of your head, go directly to your heart. Allowing you to flood yourself with that caring love first before you give out. Letting it fill all the way up as it fills down through the bottoms of your feet. Perhaps you even see it as a color, filling up from your feet all the way up, that moonlight filling you up with love, compassion, care for yourself. And as you fill all the way up, that color fills you up to your neck, spills down over your shoulders into your fingertips, filling up all the way through the top of your head until the overflow pours out from the top of your head. That powerful, healing, loving energy of moonlight. And knowing in here is also the shadow side of that energy of the crab, of the Cancerian energy, which could be sensitivity, overreaction, immediate response of snapping at those claws. And just notice that you could bring some love and energy to those reactions as well if you need to. Knowing that it's natural to have natural reactions, but sometimes it's not beneficial to you to react. So allowing that calming energy to move through, the wisdom of that mothering energy to move through. Loving your future more than this moment's reaction. And then allowing that energy to anchor into your spine, bringing safety and security to your home, bringing that nourishment to your home and your space, anchoring in that full moon's energy. And if there's anything in this space that you feel needs to be cleared out of your energy field, allowing that moon's energy to dissipate it away. See, feel, imagine it dissolving away. Whatever it is, letting that moon's energy to wash it away like that cascade of light. And as you continue to feel that cascade energy, knowing that as we move into Mercury's energy in Capricorn, noticing your communication, becoming more focused on what matters in your structures, in your foundations. Maybe you're thinking about your money, maybe you're thinking about your home. Whatever it is, allowing the power of that moonlight to move through into those places that those dreams are held in your heart or your head. Sending that moonlight energy there because your communication is going to be in your favor here. Continue to lean into that strength. Sending that energy to your heart if you need it there. Sending that energy lower down from your heart into your solar plexus if you need it to help you take action. And for that, you can imagine it right at the top of your belly, that moonlight flooding into that space to help you take action. And allowing that moonlight to heal anything in your heart. With Mars in Cancer, there could be anger in the heart, there could be frustration or arguments. And allowing yourself to dissipate it if you need, knowing that this is part of the energy. And allowing yourself to claim your peace. And now allowing a color that you love to flow in through the top of your head, sealing in this transformation. Allowing that color to amplify and magnify your strength more to you now. And that color flows in where that moonlight flooded in first, filling up from the tips of your toes as it fills in, up through your ankles and legs, up through your hips, filling up your belly entirely, breathing easily here. Letting it fill up your entire belly, filling up your torso, letting it fill up your heart all the way up through your throat, filling that up as it spills over your shoulders into your arms, down into your fingertips, letting that sensation flow through your cells as it fills up through your neck and your face, all the way up through your head and overflows from the top of your head. And allowing yourself to always keep yourself replenished here. Nourishing yourself is the invitation of the Cancer moon energy. Nourish yourself and give from the overflow. Every day in every way, it is safe and responsible to nourish yourself and give from the overflow. It is safe and responsible for you to nourish yourself and give from the overflow. And taking a nice deep breath, knowing that you could anchor this into the earth, letting it flow down as it flows down from your feet, flowing down into the center of the earth, grounding into that energy of the earth, connecting you there. And when you're ready, taking a nice deep breath. And another one if you'd like. And gently bringing your awareness and attention back to the room as I count you up from 1 to 5. 1, wiggling your fingers and toes. 2, bringing energy to your arms, shoulders, and legs. 3, movement to that spine, returning to that room. 4, a smile on your face. That smile helps your endorphins in your body anchor this in deeper. And 5, letting those eyes open. Letting your inner light shine out and that outer light shine in. And just look around. Notice if things actually look brighter or different or clearer. I tend to find they often do. Welcome back.
I hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I did. That is something that I think everybody should be doing constantly. Just got a free meditation with your viewership here. So whether you got a chance to do it or maybe you didn't know what you were getting into, it's there, and you could replay just that part and and be like, oh yeah, listen to that part. That's enough. So, that's great. So, thank you for joining a Moronetol episode, a very special Mystical Morons with Shama. We do not end a episode without closing gratitude. I think it's important. It's one of my tenets, and so I'd first absolutely like to say thank you, Shama. I'm very grateful for your friendship. I'm grateful for your experience, and I'm grateful that you agreed to be here and share your perspective, which has a lot of value, and it's important for that to be shared. And thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And I am very grateful that I am in an opportunity to produce and distribute this type of stuff to, I don't know who, but you might be there. And if you're listening, here you go. And I'm really grateful just for the opportunity to be able to do that, because if you can do good, you should do good. And I'm in that place right now, so I'm really grateful to be here. And what are the last words?
I am very grateful for every day we get to wake up and breathe, that we get to have a new adventure, or even if it's monotony, we get to wake up and do it, because this world is showing us otherwise. So I'm choosing to focus on a lot of the day-to-day things that we tend to forget. We have food, which is incredible. So I'm going to be grateful for that. We have loved ones around, which is incredible. My mug says grateful, in case you don't know this and you're listening.
Not planned.
Not planned, no. And, I think I started it as a hack practice because I wanted to retrain my brain because it actually shifts your entire energy. And now I'm just so grateful that I can focus on little things. Because the big things we always celebrate. We always celebrate the things we're looking forward to. But if you don't wake up and breathe, you ain't getting to the other things.
And, that couldn't be more true words. We definitely have that in our control. And thank you for joining us. Thank you,
Thank you.
Shama, for being here.
Thanks, Steve.
And we'll be somewhere. More on that later.